gifts under 20 bucks year-round that still feel generous and sizable. Hey guys, so today we're jumping into how to gift affordably, and so these are across the board different options on how to give a nice generous gift for under 20 bucks. So these are different tips and hacks that have really helped me kind of stay on budget and not overspend, but at the same time I love gift giving. That's kind of the way I express love, and so it's important for me to give people good gifts, but I'm also very frugal and I don't want to overspend or give things to people that they're not gonna love. This is kind of my guide to help you guys give generously without sacrificing budget and that kind of thing. One of the biggest hacks for me, gift giving without breaking the bank, is through shopping clearance. I think this is always something great to do for yourself, but you may not necessarily think to do it as gifts because it can feel kind of cheap, but there's ways of doing it that don't feel that way, if that makes sense. So Target is a favorite shop of mine and probably a lot of your guys's. I've kind of made this habit of throughout the year checking for clearance. So for seasonal items that only come around once a year, they can do pretty steep price cuts on those types of things once the season is over. So they can go up to 70, 80, even 90% off sometimes. You know, it just kind of depends on the store and how much inventory they have. If there's a lot of stock left over, they may end up drastically discounting them in order to get rid of it. A few years back, I got a ton of ornaments and all sorts of Christmas stuff for 90% off, and it was kind of bad, and I'm working on decluttering it. But you know, shopping clearance can be dangerous, but you want to make sure that you're not just buying it because it's on clearance, and make sure you have the space for it and that you need it and that it's worth your time to manage the stuff, because you can go overboard sometimes. So you may not buy ornaments or a Christmas tree to give as a gift to somebody. However, holiday scented candles, and those are good for a while if you keep the lid on and store them. You can save those until next year and then give them out as gifts for the next Christmas. Done that before, they're totally fine. And then there's even some that are, not quite so Christmas specific that still go on sale, like cinnamon is kind of a year-round thing you could do, or cedar wood. You can get wrapping supplies for year-round gifting. There's obviously Christmas specific things, but then there's some stuff that is just kind of gold or silver or red and you could kind of use year-round, or just stock up on Christmas stuff and you've got the supplies for next year, just store it under your bed. Socks is one thing I love to get on clearance after the holidays. Often, like Goodfellow socks will go on sale, and so I stock up on those, or like wool, good quality, nice looking socks that are not just like a cheapo standard. I can get those like 70% off sometimes, I think, almost. Stock up on those, and obviously those won't go bad. So if you have the space to store them, for birthdays or Christmas gifts in the future. Books, picture frames are great to buy on clearance. You can easily gift a picture frame by personalizing it with a photo. A lot of people love that as a gift, and again, it's inexpensive. You just have to print a photo. And in like the electronics section, getting a phone case could be a good idea. I recently found a bunch of like phone purses in the electronics accessory section. So it's just like a little purse to hold like a couple cards and your phone. And then there's also like keychains with a charger on there as well. So different like tech accessories, that kind of thing would be great to pick up and give away as gifts. I found some smart plugs for like Alexa, where you plug it in and you can tell Alexa to turn that outlet on and off. I found those on discount before. Great gift idea. You can get purses, jewelry, clothes as well, of course, too. That can always be a little trickier though, since some people are particular about styles and fits, but like purses and jewelry, those are pretty safe as long as you kind of know their general style. Cosmetics go on sale all the time. Lotions, I've gotten face masks, moisturizers, lots of things like that. So check those end caps in the back and you can find some stuff. And they also get rid of seasonal food like candies, or here I have some like fall season trail mix, which those can be expensive in a big container, and those were really discounted, so I grabbed one of those. You can gift those away or keep them, obviously, but those are some different ideas of different things you can look out for to pick up as gifts. And if you're like me, you love shopping, and so you might as well pick up that habit of checking clearance sections while you're in the store anyway. From one day to the next, it can change. There can be nothing good in clearance, and then suddenly there's a bunch that they've just put out. So I try to check there often, even if I was just there. You can ask an employee where all those little hidden clearance spots are. They can be different depending on the store. And then, especially when it's heavily discounted, I would say, you know, get as many as you think you can gift, you think you could probably give away, or even more. I think there's been many times where I've thought, oh, this is a great deal, but you know, in the moment I'm having a hard time wrapping my head around like what kind of gift or what person I would give it to. And then later I'm like, oh, you know, I could have grabbed like 5 of those for something. Again, I'm not trying to encourage like cluttering and overbuying though at the same time. One way to avoid buyer's remorse is to keep your receipt. And even if it was on clearance, if you have the receipt, you can return it for the amount that you paid for. I think it's smart to stock up, and then you can always come back once you've had time to think about it and realize, yeah, I can't actually give these away as gifts, or I can, but I only like 2 and the rest I'm not going to use, because you got to keep reevaluating and not letting stuff pile up. Just something to think about, that oftentimes there's more potential than you think in an item that you're picking up. And then another thing you can do too is if you bought too many, well, they were cheap, it's not a big deal, and then you can just donate them later if you don't have a use for them. I like to keep a list on my phone of all the different gifts that I'm going to need coming up, birthdays, holidays, different events and things. That way, in the moment, I can physically look and see, okay, this is what's coming up, because it's hard to remember and keep all of that in your mind. I like to flip through there and realize, oh yeah, so-and-so is graduating. They would probably like this item, and that helps you not scramble last minute for a gift and then save money because you've bought it in advance for a discount. Something that I've recently started is sort of having this like gift guide kind of in my phone too. That includes like all the family members and friends that I like to get gifts for different events. Some like intel on them, like, oh, they love white chocolate, but they hate this, or, you know, just like taking note of, oh, somebody really needs a new purse. You hear them mention, you know, complaining about their worn out shoes, or, you know, something. I'm trying to create a habit where I write it down on my phone so that in the future I'm like, crap, you know, it's really hard to recall that stuff later on. And so having it written down helps me remember people's favorite candy bars and favorite colors, or just things they really like. And when it comes to like their favorite candy bar or snack, those are so easy. If you know what they like, you can go to any grocery store or any gas station, dollar store, whatever, and pick up, you know, that candy bar, and that way you have a quick like backup option of like, oh, I really want to give them something, that you have a way of doing it quickly and conveniently, even on your way to see them, that still feels special because you remember that that was one of their favorite treats. And this is great for like close family if you have a hard time remembering that stuff, and also like extended family, like cousins and people you don't spend a ton of time with, so you're not reminded of what they like or what they need. You know, if you're not living with them, you don't really, or spend a ton of time with them, you don't really know what they need or want, and so making note of that can really help you. And you know, it kind of brings your gift giving to the next level when you're like, wow, they remembered that I needed that, or I really loved this thing, and you're more likely to give a gift that they're gonna like and keep, and you're also more likely for them to feel loved and touched and feel special and appreciated. Another way to give a substantial gift is like doing multiples of things. So maybe a nice gift would be a $20 candle, but if you get it on clearance in advance, you know, you could afford to give them 2, and that feels like kind of a more luxurious, substantial, sizable gift. Another idea is bundling. So several different inexpensive items bundled together can create kind of personalized, intentional, thought out gift. So an example of that would be those nice quality socks I was talking about, something like that you get on clearance that's good quality and makes a nice gift, but you know, isn't expensive even without the discount. And then to kind of bulk that up, you can grab a few Power Stick hygiene products from the Dollar Tree for men and kind of add that as a bundle, and maybe a favorite candy of theirs, and then all together that feels like a more complete gift. Let's say you got the socks on discount for like $5 and then a few Dollar Tree items, so you're still under like $10. with a nice gift. And then again, it doesn't have to be a clearance item, but that helps bring down the cost. But you could get one full price good item and then maybe a few less expensive items, but still have meaning and value, something that you know they would like or that they need. One idea I like is giving them a house plant, something small that's maybe difficult to kill, like a pothos, depending on, you know, if they're plant people or not. And then to add another layer of like personal touch to it, take it home and pot it for them. Ideally a pot that has a drainage hole, and you can pick out beautiful planters. You can get them discounted at like TJ Maxx or Ross, kind of anywhere really. They have so many different cute designs. So picking one out that you think they would like and looks really cute, pot your plant in it. You can also just put it in the planter in the existing nursery pot. That will provide it drainage too. Make sure you transfer like the tag or sticker that has the info on what the plant species is and maybe some care information, and then you've kind of got a nice little gift that wasn't too expensive. You can add some ribbon to it or a bow, or pair it with some fertilizer they need to keep it healthy. And then if you happen to be a houseplant person, propagating a lot of different plants is really easy. So that's another way where you could grow your own plant from one of your own, starting it as a baby and pot it, and then you can gift it away as like a small mini plant. And that costs nothing except for maybe the soil and the pot. So that's a very thoughtful gift that took time. One thing I like to do is get well kits, whether they're sick or not actually, because once you get sick, you know, you don't want to go out and buy these things that you need. It's nice to have them already on hand. So one thing I love to do in those is the throat coat tea bags, or any kind of tea, but that one especially is good for sore throats. I need some right now actually. Those smell amazing and taste nice and really help with sore throats and colds and things. Vitamin C packets, you know, different cold medicine, cough drops, and you know, a lot of those things you can get at the dollar store too, like the cough drops, vitamin C packets, cold medicine, doing like a nice box of tea, and then a few dollar store cold remedy items, and then maybe some fresh oranges to eat for that vitamin C, or for them to juice to get fresh orange juice, is like a really nice thoughtful gift, especially like during cold season and this time of year. Okay, I've saved the best for last. Thrifting for gifting, I think, is an amazing concept to take something old and no longer wanted and make a gift out of it and re-gift to someone else. There's a lot of value in, you know, saving something, restoring it, and giving it away as a gift to someone else to appreciate and use. Now, this method is not universally accepted, I feel like, but it is something that I would love to normalize. Just recently, I saw Becca Martinez post on Instagram about this, how it shouldn't have this stigma to it, you know, and that we should do it and normalize it. And so it's something that she does. I know some people do, but it's not like typical. Now, not everything you can find at the thrift store is going to be an acceptable gift. There can be a lot of crap that's broken and gross, but there are a lot of things. If you kind of dig through, you can find stuff that you can bring home, clean up with a magic eraser, scrub, run through the washing machine, and maybe replace an element or repair something and restore it, or create a different use out of it and make something new. And there's not always a need to have that DIY time and effort put into it, or DIY skill. A few weeks ago I found a brand new Target purse that looked like it hadn't even been used from the thrift store, and so I got it for like $5 or something, and it's perfect condition. You know, no one would know I had thrifted it. So you can find good stuff. You can even find things that still have the tags on them, the original tags. Not everything out there is like that. A lot of it is used, but there's still always potential to refinish it. You know, something wood, you can take home, sand and refinish and restore, or things you can take home and paint, you know, recover with a new fabric. And there's so many ways to dip your toes into this and start small, like just getting a woven basket and using that as like the gift bag for a gift. And you can buy items normally, put them inside, but the basket is thrifted. Little touches like that are so appropriate. There's nothing wrong with it, and people do this, so don't psych yourself out, you know. And if people question you about it, you know, you can tell them like, hey, it's this cool way of saving money and reducing, you know, that people do it, that it's not just you, and it's a thing. In addition to thrift stores, you can get secondhand items from Facebook Marketplace and use those to regift. And again, you can find like unopened toys sometimes and items that, you know, are in great condition that are very easy to regift. And I personally think it's more meaningful and unique when you thrift to gift, because, you know, it takes a little effort to find something and put a little time and effort into it, into restoring it or creating something new out of it. For me, I think I love that too, because I know that they didn't spend a ton of money on a gift for me, especially if it's something I may or may not like. So I love when people do that for me, and so I'm sure a lot of people would feel the same way. For years, my little sister has thrifted items as DIY material. I think it was last year, she made candles out of little teacups that she found at the thrift store and made her own candles and with different colors and scents. And she's done tons of things like that. And I think that's so smart to, if you want to DIY a gift and do a homemade gift, that you can find those materials at a thrift store or secondhand somewhere and create something new out of it. So my next video will go a lot more in depth into thrifting for gifting, so make sure you subscribe so you can come back and see that video. We'll walk through a few different projects and different avenues of doing that. And while we're here, I just wanted to show you an update on my decorating for the holidays. We ended up decorating the Christmas tree. I have a lot of different ornaments and different colors, so I did let my kids take the lead on that. My daughter wanted the candy cane red theme, so she placed the red ones, and I may have adjusted them a little bit after and added in the whites a little bit. So it's kind of simple and quick, but I wanted to get that done so we could pack away our ornaments and get them out of our living room and enjoy the decorations for the season. So I wanted to give you a little look at that. I just want to say thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you're enjoying the holidays. Don't stress yourself out too much. Have fun, enjoy it, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye.
Hey, gingerbread man, where's your Christmas spirit? I would like to see you dancing. Come on, take a first step. Our love is gifted for you to help you through the river.